Hello everyone. It's James from Men Who Are Abused, and in today's video we are going to set a few things straight in regards to the differences between abused men and abused women. The reason for making this video is now and then I get responses that say, well, you know, it's a two-way street, women can be abused too, you know. Well, here's the thing. I know that fact. That women can be abused and are abused just as men are abused, and if you watched many of my videos I outlined this fact and state that it's a problem for both genders. However, if I don't mention this fact in every single video doesn't mean I do not know or am not aware this problem exists. With that being said, the reason why I make the videos I make in my channel is titled Men Who Are Abused is for a very simple reason, and is the major difference between abused men and abused women. Society as a whole recognizes that women can be abused. However, society denies and laughs at the fact that men can be and are abused. This is a fact of life, people. And the reason why I have my channel and make the videos I make. So for the people that say, women can be abused too, you know, I get it, and just as much as I get it, everyone else gets it too. However, you should be asking yourself this question. Does society get and acknowledge men are abused too? And I bet you will come back with an answer of a big fat no. Here is a great example of this. A few years ago, 2020, or another major show such as this did a test study. They had couples fighting and arguing in a public park. In one instance it was a man yelling at a woman, and in the other instance later in the day it was a woman yelling at a man. The woman in the instance where she was yelling at the man really was trying to push the envelope to see if someone would help the man. And guess what? Majority of the people that walked by this couple did nothing. And most laughed and made gestures of, right on girl, or you go girl. Many made comments later when interviewed they felt that probably the man must have done something to deserve the abuse and thought the abusive behavior they witnessed was justified. Others admitted it was hypocritical to do nothing. But it is what it is. It took many people to pass by before one person threatened to call the cops. However, when the man was yelling at the woman, people intervened and said something very quick about this behavior. And they felt like they had to run in and do something about this man yelling at this woman. So what's the point of me telling you this? The point is this: that men are abused and no one recognizes it, acknowledges it. And many think it's funny. Hence the reason why I make my videos, to bring it out of the shadows and expose it for what it is so it can one day stop. Think about how many times you hear women comment to another woman that is getting a divorce settlement. And they say, you go girl. Get it all. Get everything you can. When many women, and no, not all, but many women in today's society hear about another man being broken down to the very core of being a man, and losing all of his money, it's celebrated with cheers. And you go girl. Get it all girl. Not caring who was right or wrong in the divorce, and who may have done what to whom. It's just a blanket. Get it all and take him for everything he has, and I hate to break it to you. Doing this to a man is indeed abuse. Like many women have coined the wording before, that abuse is about power. Well, I have news for you ladies. You have all of the power. All of it. Please do not say you don't have the power when you do. Who gets paid financially just to get a divorce no matter who is right or wrong in the marriage? That's right. The woman will in most instances come out taking most of the marital assets and monies, and continue to receive support for most of her life from a man she might have done wrong. Let me ask you this, ladies. What would you think if a man married you, cheated on you with 10 different women, then said he was leaving you for your next door neighbor, took you to court, made you pay his legal bills, and made you give him $1,000 a month for life just for having the privilege of marrying this loser to have him cheat on you, and also can prevent you from seeing your children and gets an additional $1,000 a child from you as well? Would you think this is abuse? And would you think this is fair? Well, of course it's not fair. If a guy cheats on you and leaves, he should leave with what you walked in with, and let you move on with your life. However, the reality is when men do something as horrible as I just outlined, his fate is the same as if the reverse happens and the woman is the cheater. Meaning if you flip the scenarios, and you have the woman cheating on her husband with 10 guys, then she leaves her husband for the mailman, she can still take most of the assets, monies, children, and make this poor man pay support for life to her just for having the privilege of marrying such an awful person. And being cheated on, yes, that's right. This man has to pay every dime he has just to get cheated on. Have you ever heard anything so insane? That's like someone breaking into your house and taking your stuff, only to later have to pay them for doing that to you. You see, every woman, even the ones that don't do the abusing, know they have this power. Here is a great example many of you can probably identify with. Remember when you were kids? Your sister might have got lighter punishments than you. Or she might have done something wrong in which you took the blame for, or you were arguing with your sister, and your parents intervened, just to yell at you and comfort her, even though she broke the head off of your G.I. Joe action figure on purpose and was laughing the entire time. Then when your parents ran in the room, she started to cry, and leave you standing there like the villain. Well, it's these early situations that teaches young girls they are going to be treated differently in life than boys, just for the simple fact they are girls. Sadly, these experiences leave young girls growing up constantly testing the boundaries to see what they can get away with and what they are able to do without blame. Now, not all women do this, but many, if not most, do. Even the non-disordered women, as this is just a normal human response to how they are raised. And most are raised in this way. The little or older brother gets into trouble, and the crying sister gets the benefit of the doubt and comfort. Even most good women can tell you they have at one time used being a woman to smile and get themselves out of a traffic ticket, or other situations that men might not be able to get out of. I don't fault women for doing this. But again, like I have said, abuse is about who has the power. And when one group is always given the benefit of the doubt, and the other group is not, that means one group has the power, and the other group has none. And it leaves things wide open for some in the group to use this power for very bad and evil things. Isn't there a saying, absolute power corrupts? Well, this saying is 110% the truth. Absolute power does corrupt. Let me ask you this. If women in today's society had to take responsibility for their actions more than they do you think they would do half of the things they do in today's society? I have said this before, that if there was not a financial payoff in marriage today, meaning if the marriage sadly fell apart, that the woman would walk away with what she had, and there was none of this alimony, I get the kids and you get nothing garbage, I bet you would see marriage go back to what it once was. It would be about love between a man and a woman, the way it was in the beginning of time, and you would see the scam artists disappear. But here's the thing, more so than that, those that weren't aware they were scam artists will be forced to take a look at themselves and only be in a relationship for love as well. But like the saying goes, absolute power corrupts. Yes, it too can even corrupt the good and loving. Too much power given to any man or woman is just asking for trouble, because all of us can and do fall down in our lives. And so things that we later look back on and can't believe that was us doing such things. Even for the people that comment, hey, but I'm not like that, I have this to say. Even you can fall. Even you can get corrupted by having all the power over another human life. All it takes is for a person to be handed over this power for things to start to go wrong. And isn't abuse about who has the power? We turn on the TV and we see men emasculated over and over, and no one is doing anything. Which I do feel guys need to speak up more. However, the reality is more people think these shows are funny, which overrides the minority of those that are put off by such things. But if a man were to do the things to women that women do to men in today's movies and TV shows, there would be protests in the streets everywhere, and making sure certain commercials and TV shows were pulled. So I ask you again, who has the power? This is the major difference between abused men and abused women. When a woman is abused in any shape or form, everyone and anyone runs to her aid. However, when a man is abused, he is mocked, laughed at, and his abuser is given cheers and high fives. And when the abuser has that kind of power to abuse someone without consequence, let alone getting cheered and high-fived for their behavior, means we are truly dealing with a serious problem that many are afraid to talk about. But we must not be afraid to expose this issue for what it is, and bring it to the light and show it to be the nastiness and evil we deep down inside know it to be. Like I always say, knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we can prevent such bad situations. Until next time, bye for now and be good to yourself.